I think we have a tendency to extract stuff and then to apply it like literally, and to think that that's the way, when it comes to, investigating like what muscles activated on a particular exercise and studying it. I mean, it's really hard to learn much of anything from studies. Who are you studying? How long has this person been training? Doug would say that you're getting kind of 30% quad activation during a squat. But is that someone that knows how to flex their quads? Is that from a professional bodybuilder? Is that, or is that just some guy that is just learning how to squat and he kind of leans forward a lot in the squat? I mean, your form, your technique. I mean, there's so many factors that really play into it.
But is that 30% of that 600-pound squat? Maybe that's enough to grow the legs the way you need to.
Right.
Because you can't even get close to that 30% of 600-pound squat when you're doing, a sissy squat per se.
Right. And then also you're working the whole body. So there's nothing wrong with, it's great that your entire body's working during a squat. I think that's good information. We know that, we know a lot of these things. I think, again, having Andre Milanichev here and having guys like Jay Cutler and people we've had over the years, it's almost like disheartening in a way, because they're so simple with the information that they give you. You're like, damn it, I fell for it again. I fell for this new thing.
Yogi Berra, simple wisdom.
Oh my God! Every time, Jay says, "Don't be fancy, be consistent," and Andre Milanichev said, "Think less." He said it over and over and over and over again. So if I'm asking you, hey, what's better, a hack squat, or have this new hack squat that's on this different angle, or should I be leg pressing? You'd be like, hey, just stop being an idiot. Go in there and fucking train. Go lift.
Squat. Squatting builds legs. That's all there is to it. You're not going to build legs on a leg press or a hack squat. I mean, that's my answer usually to that question. Squat, and then if you want to do as the second movement, hack squat or leg press, go for it. But the bottom line, my friend Jerry Scalisi said it best years ago. He's like, you know what? Go in the gym and do 10 sets of squats and go home. You want big legs. You do that every week for 2 years, you're going to get big legs. You don't even need to do anything else.
But that's too hard.
He's right.
Going to walk around like you just got off a horse.
But that's it. Think about it. If you only had to do 10 sets of squats and then go home, people would think I'm not doing enough. I got to do more. But you know what? You'll have amazing quad development and amazing hamstring and glute development if you do that.
Okay, so a couple more things. In the earlier cut, David said something about EMS, which is electrical muscle stimulation. And he talks about how guys put it on, they go, I feel it. I feel like I've never felt it before and my muscle is sore. Well, of course, that is nonsense. It is nonsense. And the reason it's nonsense is because a muscle that contracts by way of electrical muscle stimulation has been studied and has been compared to actual muscle contraction and has been proven to be less effective. Period. There's nothing new about that. I would never say that just because a muscle gets sore because you tried something new or different, that therefore it's good. I mean, we clearly say oftentimes that isn't the way you establish whether a muscle got what it got. So we go to the research and we know what is required for muscle growth. If you read articles by Chris Beardsley or Brad Schoenfeld, and you will see that a muscle benefits more from full range of motion than from partial range of motion. It benefits more from early phase loading than from late phase loading. It benefits more when there's no neurological interference. These are actually proven things. Then he said something like, if 30% of 600-pound squat is enough to make your quads big, then fine. And maybe that 30% of 600 pounds is still more than 100% of something else. And as I just said, that's actually false, right? You could actually do a sissy squat with body weight and get more quadricep load, more measurable, provable, more quadricep load with a body weight sissy squat of 200-pound body weight than you can with a 200-pound man squatting 200 pounds. This is absolute. This is not an opinion. This is not a trick. This is not new science. This is absolute provable. It's been proven already. We know that a muscle that is loaded more is apt to grow more than a muscle that's loaded less. And all you need to know is some basic physics to know which one is loading that muscle more. That's all. So now Mark said something about when you're squatting, your full body is working. And there's a benefit to that. And I would say, well, yes and no. Each muscle that's participating may, in fact, and usually is benefiting less than that muscle would be benefiting from an exercise where it's working by itself. Okay, so if you want muscle growth, if If you want glute growth, you want quad growth, you want erector spinae development without wasted energy, without risk of injury, then you choose the better exercises. If your objective is to use the barbell squat as a way of burning a hell of a lot of calories because so many muscles are involved at the same time, great. Then do that for that reason, for the reason of burning a lot of calories. But don't do it thinking that you're loading your quadriceps more or your glutes more, because that's provably wrong. That's provably false. You are not. That's absolute engineering. That's absolute physics. Numbers don't lie. Now, nobody mentioned anything about spinal compression during a 600-pound squat, but that is a factor, right? So, and it's a factor on top of the factors that you can actually get more muscle growth with less weight using other better mechanically efficient exercises. Separate from that, you also it would be ideal to avoid damaging your spine, right? I heard a statistic this morning that said that as much as 5% of the population, and we're not talking about bodybuilders or weightlifters, 5% of the population has a herniated disc, and they may not even know it yet until it starts pushing against the nerve. And the other statistic I heard was, I think 30% of all people in the US have to take time off of work because of back pain.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, of course, not all those people are weightlifters, right? So anything that you do where you put a 200, 300, 400 pound, 600, 800 pound weight on your spine is apt to increase the odds that you're going to have spinal pain, spinal damage, right? So, and you don't even need to do it. And it's ridiculous that you would do it knowing that you could, well, if you do know the physics and you realize that you're actually getting 300 pounds less quadricep load while doing barbell squats and you are from a bodyweight 60 squat. And in addition to the 300-pound reduction of load, you're also risking your spine. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Look, here's the thing is, we're talking about a subject that is near and dear to a lot of people's hearts.
For sure.
They have an emotional investment in this thing, right? If you've been doing something for a long time and you've gotten some degree of reward from it, you're going to believe that that's the best strategy, even if it isn't. All you know is you're happy with the results you've gotten. You don't know you could be happier, right? You just know.
You don't want to stay there.
Yeah, you just know. I mean, it's like if you did a business transaction and you earned $1,000. What you didn't know is you could have earned twice that if you would have done one thing just a little differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wasn't expecting $1,000. Cool. It's like, you got to look beyond that, right? And the people like Jay Cutler, the people that he mentions, Jerry Scalisi, all you got to do is do 10 sets of squats and go home. It's like, look, that's the simple perspective on it, right? Yes, you can get, and we've seen it, we can get physique development using conventional exercises, right? Despite the fact that they don't load the muscle as much and require more in the process as compared to other exercises. But you take someone like Jay Cutler, or better, someone like Ronnie Coleman, someone who's already done it, already been rewarded, already been given a lot of praise for their achievement. Do you really think they're going to stop and say, yeah, maybe I didn't do it right? No, they're not likely to say that. They're likely to defend what they've done because it got them a long way, right? But I defy, or I should say I challenge, anyone who doesn't think that you can get a good quad workout or a good glute workout or a good anything workout using one of the Break 20 exercises. Come join me and we'll put you through that workout and you will feel that muscle.
Are you inviting big names, bodybuilders, or what?
Sure. Come on down. We'll go to the garage gym where I train, right? I will put you through a quad workout and you will swear to me when you're done that you've never worked your quad so hard without joint pain, without back compression, without having to lift 1,000 pounds. You didn't even know you could get that much muscle load without using so much weight. But that's the kind of thing. It's, you've heard seeing is believing, right?
Yes.
In our situation, it's more like feeling is believing. I mean, some people don't even need to feel it. They could just look at the math. They just look at the physics. They're logical enough to see the difference. We're not saying that high reps are better than low reps. We're not saying that lightweight is better than heavyweight. We're not saying that at all. In fact, we're saying the same thing everyone else is saying in terms of high weight, low reps for each muscle is still the best way to get volume loading. Just we're talking about the angles of the limbs relative to the direction of resistance. That's all we're saying, right? And there's no debating. There's no way you can deny that a sissy squat feels heavier than a 200-pound barbell squat. And you have to say why? Well, because of physics, because of the angle of your lower leg. I mean, why wouldn't it shocks me that a person who thinks they can squat a lot of weight then struggles to do a sissy squat for X number of reps wouldn't question why. I mean, the bottom line is if something feels heavier, it's because the physics magnifies the load more. If something allows you to use a heavier weight than something else, is because the physics allows it by reducing the magnification to the participating muscles. All right. So it's not like a muscle that's working in maximum capacity is working at maximum capacity, period. It's not like you can work harder than maximum capacity. Right. So just because you're using less weight, even though the muscle is working at maximum effort, doesn't mean that you can load that muscle more by using a different exercise with more weight.
Yeah. Clearly, Dave said it, that he don't really believe in biomechanics. He seeing is believing. He saw like the results of the people. He believed in that. And I can almost guarantee you that Dave don't know about the Brignoli method and the Brick 20 exercise. Andrew knows, but the way he said like flies build chest, first of all, we never recommended flies. Flies is not part of the Brick 20 exercise.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So those are also things that need to be mentioned, because I don't think that he knows the Brick 20 exercises.
Yeah, wouldn't look. Not only does he not know which exercises are part of the Brick 20, he's never tried our exercises.
Yeah.
And the reason why he's never tried it, in part, is because he's not competing anymore. I assume he's exercising, but as he said, he can't run 10 miles. So I would imagine that whatever his training is right now is accommodating his circumstances. The circumstances being that he's got a couple of kids and he's got, some injuries and et cetera, et cetera. But the fact is that there's two ways you can look at what we just heard. One way of looking at it is strictly from the logical standpoint. And that is that when Andrew said, can you poke holes in Doug's methods? The answer was strictly opinion.
Yeah.
That's strictly opinion. And it's based on opinion that is sort of like emotionally invested in, years and years and years of establishing your particular methods of training. And the more reinforcement that you have from that, the more people that believe the same thing you believe, the better you feel about what you believe, which is true in religion and politics and everything else. Yeah. So that's the logical way. And then the other way, which is more the experiential way, is all right. Well, I find it hard to believe, but I'm game to trying it. And then you try it and make sure that you try it the right way, right? I mean, we have people that do these bizarre things. It's like, that's not what we recommended.
Yeah.
If you do it the way we recommend, you will discover, hands down, your workouts are as good as, for each individual muscle, as good as they've ever been. Your muscles will feel as good or better than they ever have before. What's missing is the skeletal strain. What's missing is the compression of the spine. What's missing is the torque on the shoulders. What's missing is just the beating up of the skeleton, bent over barbell row, the beating up of the lower back while doing an exercise that doesn't even do exactly what the lats do or what the middle trapezius do. There's just no anyone who's tried it. We don't have anyone who's tried it and said it didn't work. Everyone who's tried it. I had one guy send me pictures of his upper chest with a massive upper chest. And, to Dave Palumbo's point about, if you want upper pecs, you have to do heavy incline. No, that's false. I mean, that might be what you think because the people who have done heavy incline presses had big upper pecs and also did flats and declines and everything else. So that's not a very pure experiment.
Yeah.
You know, when I did nothing but inclines as an experiment, I had the worst pectoral development ever. And pecs were never my strong forte to begin with, but it became very obvious. And I encourage anyone who's willing to do this, do nothing but inclines for 2 months. And then tell me what you think of inclines. But getting back to what I was saying, this guy sent me pictures and said, ever since I heard you speak, I've been doing nothing but declines. My upper pecs are better than they've ever been before. And I have no shoulder pain. Before I had shoulder pain.
Mm-hmm.
So there's plenty of people out there who are taking the second approach, which is try it and then decide.
Yeah.
You know, you get a guy like Dave who doesn't try it and is emotionally invested and doesn't know the math of the physics and can't deny that what I said made sense, but to him it's theoretical sense. It's test tube sense. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, the fact is you can actually prove that one exercise loads a muscle more than the other one, and load is load.
Yeah. And thousands of people actually said, I wish I knew this when I first started about the method that we're recommending.
Look, it is unsettling. We have to admit, and we respect the fact that it's a bitter pill to swallow. It's difficult to acknowledge that we had invested a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, maybe even taught, recommended certain things that we now, that logic dictates, that, you know, physics dictates that are compromised. It's a little bit hard to swallow. Most people would rather not know. They'd rather either never be exposed to what the actual physics is or the truth is, or they'll just see it, hear it, and deny it, let it go in one ear and out the other ear, and stay a member of your club, which is, you know, the bad boy club, you know, that you like to be a part of, and you're mixing, you know, what is mechanical and scientific and logical with what is emotional and peer acceptance and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's it for today. Thank you, Doug, for clarifying these points. I hope our viewers enjoyed these. This is the first time we do this video, but you know.
Look, let me just, if in closing.
Yeah.
First of all, thank Dave Palumbo, thank Mark Bell, and thank Nsima for several things. First of all, they are polite. They're respectful.
They are.
And they are open-minded enough to let me onto their show to present the case. And also thank you, Dave, because what you did was voice the lack of confidence or the, you know, the, let's just say closed-mindedness that some people out there have in regard to what we're saying. And that's why we always try to be respectful. We are always respectful and always polite.
Absolutely.
We're not trying to say anyone is wrong. We're not trying to say anyone is foolish. What we are saying is these are the numbers. This way makes more logical sense than that way. You decide. And if we don't get the opportunity to hear and address the doubts that people have out there, we don't have the opportunity to explain it.
Right. Well, thank you very much. If you want to know about our programs, links will be in the video description. Thank you, Doug. And thank you, Mark Bell. Thank you, Dave. And see you in the next video.
Sounds great.